I held on to certain things so much because I thought that if I controlled it to the best of my ability, that I would receive the outcome and the achievements and the success that I was looking for. But ultimately, God had showed me time and time again that my plans always fail, especially if it's not rooted in Him, or if He is desiring for me to let go of something, but I choose to do the opposite of that. You've been holding on to things that God wants you to let go of. And the reason that He wants you to let it go is because He wants to bless you with so much more. But I want to tell you that with God, there's no confusion. You don't have to work your whole life or work like a horse to achieve the things that God has called for you to do, or to be the person that God has called you to be. If things are not working in your favor, if something that you're trying to do is not necessarily panning out the way that you desire, then possibly God is calling you to let that thing go so that He can show you and reveal to you what He actually needs you to do. As we hold on to things because of fear, we miss all that God has for us. We miss out on the fact that God wants to bless us with so much more. Sometimes we have unrealistic expectations. We think that, if we do this and we work really hard at it and we put a time frame on something, that naturally with consistency or with effort that these things will work out, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a venture that you're working towards, a job opportunity, whatever the case may be. But I want to tell you, what God has for you, He literally has for you. And so at the end of the day, you do not have to work so hard to obtain the things that God wants for you. I believe that things feel heavy and uncomfortable and confusing when we try to rely on our own strengths, when we try to do everything ourselves, when we try to use our entire mental capacity to think of all of the different outcomes and all of the different ways that we can just do something rather than relying on God. My best advice would be to stop relying on what's comfortable and start thinking outside of the box and allowing God to step in and take complete control. Let go of the control and allow God to step in, because that's the only way that He can truthfully guide your life. So as you go for the rest of your day and you think about this message, I want you to remember to trust what God has for you. And sometimes it's important for us to let go of the control that we're holding on to, let go of these ideas, these desires, and give it to God and allow Him to give us the things in return that we deserve, because He knows that it's for our lives. And God is never going to give you anything that's going to make you feel unworthy, or it's not going to make you feel any of these negative emotions that you're possibly feeling right now. So when God gives you what He has for you, just know that it's going to benefit you in the long run. It's going to encourage you to keep going. It's going to be something that requires you to have a level of faith in Him to even do the thing to begin with. And I think for myself, I was even thinking way too small. Like the dreams and goals that I had set for myself, my aspirations and everything was based off of my own strength. It was based off of what I felt like I could obtain and what I felt like I could do in life. And as of recently, I've decided that I need to start dreaming bigger and having ideas and goals that's too big for me to bear, because I feel like my problem comes from thinking that I can do it all in my own strength. But in reality, I'm supposed to be dreaming so big. You're supposed to be dreaming so big that you have to rely on God. And what God has for us, like I said, is going to require for us to lean on Him anyway. So your dreams are too small. The visions you have for yourself are way too small. The ideas that you have are too small. They're nothing compared to what God has for you. And you're over here stressed out, thinking about all of the different outcomes and all of these different things when your dream is this big. But God has something so much bigger for you that when you rely on Him, it's just going to be unimaginable what He has for you. And sometimes letting go is the hardest part, because like I said, we've attached certain feelings, certain emotions, certain things to the things that we're holding on to, or the people or the relationships, the friendships. We've attached ourselves to it. But when God wants to strip you from that, the stretching, the pulling, the releasing is uncomfortable, but what's on the other side of that is so much better. And so if you're someone who's holding on to something today for dear life because you're afraid of the outcome, you're afraid of what life is like when you let this thing go, just know that what God has for you is so much better. What He has for you is going to be something you could not even imagine. But you holding on control, holding on to control, holding on to these situations, these things, these ideas for yourself is leaving you stuck. It's leaving you miserable, depressed, confused, because it's not what God has for you, or at least not in the way that he has it designed for you. And sometimes we have to shift. We have to let God tweak our ideas and tweak our situations in order for him to give us exactly what he needs us to do. This is your wake-up call. This is your reminder to let go of something for God to give you so much more.